And now that we have a different type of pyramids, very nice. And also congratulations for completing the first part of this JavaScript project. Hello folks, welcome to the Tech channel. We are continuing JavaScript tutorial using FreeCodeCamp website. Let's just start from where we stopped in previous tutorial, navigate to this tab here. In previous tutorial we stopped in this challenge 111. We're still using the older pyramids shape, so we need to invert this shape. Instead of adding an element to end of an array, we need to add it to beginning of an array. We can use dot and shift method instead dot push. Boom. So that's now is just inverted one change. So check your code. Congratulations, your code passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. So in this challenge, it is asking you, for example, what if you want to toggle between like inverted and standard pyramid shape. So at the end here is asking you to declare a variable called inverted using let method, because you are going to reassign this value later. So as you remember, we'll use let method to declare a variable only if we need to reassign the variable value again. So to do that, you need to type here the let keyword and then the variable name, which is called inverted, and then assign it to true value. At the end, we need to add a semicolon. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. It's asking us to add a if statement to check where if an inverted is true, and again it's asking you to don't need to use equal operator here. So which mean we can just add that inside here. If, then you need to add a condition to check if this inverted, we declared here this variable, if this is true. So we don't need to say equal true, because by default we'll check this will be same as that syntax. So then we need to add object bracket here and then run check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge now is asking us to move this dot and shift method inside this condition, and which is this here line 15, just move it to top and remove the empty space that we don't need here and make the syntax look readable, and check your code. Still the pyramid is displayed as expected. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. So this is the syntax. As you remember, if we need to add a multi-condition to check if the condition is true, do something inside this scope or this curly bracket, otherwise go to else. So for now it's asking you just to add else to this if statement here at the end. If inverted is true, try to build this inverted pyramid shape. Instead, go do something inside else. For now we do nothing, just check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge 116. And again in this challenge it will ask us when inverted is false, then we need to use the standard pyramid shape using dot push method instead of dot and shift method. So same, we need to use same code, this one here. Because the condition already checked here, if inverted is true, we'll try call the first logic, otherwise we'll go inside else. We'll use the standard method using dot push instead of dot and shift. And now check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge now is telling us that our pyramid in correct state. So, and also we build it using more functionalities than what we planned before. So, and we need to make the code more cleaner and more readable. We don't need this comment out code. It's asking us to remove this, so no, we don't need it anymore. We can just remove this here from the bottom, and again we don't need this one at the bottom as well. And now you can check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit and move on to the next challenge. And now in this challenge is telling us that we did a great work for first part of this JavaScript project, and using different value for character count, invert variables. And so we can try different examples, and by changing character to use this exclamation instead of hash. So let's just change this to exclamation, and change count to 10 instead of 8, and change inverted to be false instead of true. And now that we have a different type of pyramids, very nice. And also congratulations for completing the first part of this JavaScript project, and thank you for being patient until get to this reach of the first part of JavaScript. and be tuned for the next part. The next project is going to be only for challenge, so don't skip, just keep practicing, keep learning, and see you on the next tutorial.